Okay, so if someone asked me to find the cosine of 480 degrees, I could use my calculator as long as it was in degree mode, and I could find what cosine of 480 was. It would give me a decimal, and I would have to round it. So we have to know how to find the exact values, and that's where the unit circle comes in. And if you watched that video in the notes, you should have seen how the unit circle relates to the exact values that are on it. Can you see the unit circle here?
Yeah.
Okay, so first thing that you do when you're trying to find the exact value is you look to see if the number that they give you is on the unit circle. Well, the unit circle only goes to 360, so I know that this is too big and it's not going to be on the unit circle. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a coterminal angle. So remember that in order to find a coterminal angle, you can go completely around the circle, which if I'm in degrees, that means I need to go 360 degrees. Now I don't want to go up because that would make me get even higher than this, and our unit circle only goes to 360. So instead I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to say 480 minus 360 to get my coterminal angle, which gives me cosine of 120 degrees. Okay, so now I'm going to look on my unit circle and see if I can find 120. Okay, so when I find 120, it's right here. And then outside here, remember my x is my cosine and my y is my sine. That's what that video showed you there. Okay, so for this one, the x is -1/2. So my cosine here is -1/2. Okay. The next one is going to be sine of pi, or 11 pi over 4. Okay. So this one's in radians. If you were using your calculator, you'd have to have your calculator in radian mode to find this. Again, if you want the exact answer, your calculator is going to give you a decimal. So if it's not something easy like 1/2, you might not be able to tell what that exact answer is. So we're going to use our unit circle. Okay. So first thing I do is I look to see if 11 pi over 4 is on the unit circle. When I look here, I see like things with 4s underneath them, and the biggest one, excuse me, the biggest one that I see is 7 pi over 4. Because think about it, a full circle is 2 pi, so that would be 8 pi over 4. Okay? So again, this is too big. So I know I need to go down. So I need to subtract 2 pi from this. I need to take a whole circle away. So if I do 11 pi over 4 minus, excuse me, 8 pi over 4, so I just found a common denominator. Okay, that's going to give me 3 pi over 4. So now I'm smaller than 2 pi, so let's see if I can find that on my unit circle. So, excuse me. So when I'm looking for my 3 pi, what I get? 3 pi over 4. So I look for my 3 pi over 4 right here. Okay, so there's 3 pi over 4, and this time I had sine, so I want the y for 3 pi over 4, which is root 2 over 2. So my answer here is root 2 over 2. That's my exact answer.